Welcome in everybody to our YouTube channel here at FantasyPros. I am Lauren Carpenter, and today I have 10 players that you are going to regret drafting. But first, before we get into any of that, we need to announce the winner for the signed Javonte Williams jersey, courtesy of our friends over at Pristine Auction. Drumroll, please. Ryan Crowley. Congratulations, Ryan. Go ahead and get in touch with us, mailbag@fantasypros.com. We'll get your mailing address, make sure we have proof of subscription, all of that fun stuff. But congratulations, my man, Ryan Crowley. You won a signed Javonte Williams jersey. But we're not done with the jersey giveaways yet, my friends. Nay, we have a signed Keenan Allen jersey, courtesy, again, of our friends over at Pristine Auction. And if you want to go ahead and get into that contest, because why wouldn't you? It is very easy to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Make sure those notifications are turned on. Comment, that's it. It is super easy to get involved. And then you get a signed jersey if you win. It is pretty awesome. Remember, make sure those notifications are turned on because we announce the winner of those jerseys on the channel. So if you don't have the notifications on, you're not going to know if you won. And now, without further ado, let's hop into our 10 players that you will regret drafting in 2022. Number 10, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. It feels like a long time ago when the fantasy world was monstrously high on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and it has not been a real positive journey for the running back since 2020. He has yet to play a full season in the NFL due to injury, and his involvement in the offense was plagued by a committee backfield. The Chiefs have the highest vacated targets in the NFL with the departure of Tyreek Hill, which means that Edwards-Helaire may see an uptick in targets. However, the Chiefs seem set on loading their running back room with bodies. Even though they lost Darrell Williams, they added Ronald Jones and kept Jerick McKinnon. This offense will continue to run through Patrick Mahomes and his arm as opposed to keeping the ball on the ground. Number 9. Miles Sanders, running back, Philadelphia Eagles. No matter what season it is or how many times you say it, do not draft Miles Sanders. Every year people are saying that this will be his year. Have we not learned? Miles Sanders is in a committee backfield, period, the end. Despite seeing 60 to 83% of the snaps before his injury in 2021, he only averaged 9.5 rushing attempts per game. When he returned, he did become the clear lead back, only to fail to score a single touchdown, despite seeing 23 attempts inside the 20-yard line. To make matters worse, Sanders is dealing with yet another injury, this time to his hamstring as we head into Week 1. Jalen Hurts, Kenny Gainwell, and Boston Scott will still be involved, and Miles Sanders should be avoided at all costs. Number 8, Amari Cooper, wide receiver, Cleveland Browns. We do have clarity, finally, on the quarterback situation, with Jacoby Brissett being named the starter for the first 11 weeks of the season. This isn't bad news for Amari Cooper, since he will likely benefit over the deep threat Donovan Peoples-Jones. However, Brissett as the starter is excellent news for tight end David Njoku, while just decent news for Amari Cooper. Brissett is a serviceable starter for the Browns, but this offense under Kevin Stefanski is run first. Instead of taking Cooper at his ADP, look instead to David Njoku much later in the draft and save that 5th-round pick for another player. Number 7, Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Jacksonville Jaguars. Christian Kirk's contract is mind-boggling and may suggest that he will be the clear alpha wide receiver for the Jags. I find this very hard to believe. After Kirk was the star in the Jaguars' second preseason game, his ADP is steadily climbing. Remember, this is preseason, folks. While he may have splash plays and will have great value in best ball, Kirk is unrealistic at his ADP in redraft. Number 6, Darnell Mooney, wide receiver, Chicago Bears. Not much analysis needs to go into avoiding Darnell Mooney. It seems juicy with a middle to late round ADP in the 7th, especially since he's about the only wide receiver for the Bears. But that's exactly the problem. The loss of Allen Robinson has a significant impact on Mooney's opportunity since defenses will know exactly who they need to shut down. And this video is brought to you by Flex Fantasy. Flex.fan allows you to compete in head-to-head challenges on a weekly basis using your current fantasy team. You can sync that fantasy team you already drafted. Best ball challenges are now available with your own roster. There's no need to draft a new team. You can challenge anyone in the fantasy community, even if they're not in your own league. Play against your league mates, friends, family, or anyone else in the fantasy community. Sign up and create your first best ball challenge for a chance to win a signed Aaron Rodgers helmet. Just head right on over to flex.fan/pros. Number 5, Marquise Brown, wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals. While exciting news, Marquise Brown to the Cardinals is not nearly as exciting for fantasy purposes. Don't forget, the clear number 1 is DeAndre Hopkins, and he will return after 6 weeks, and Brown will be immediately replaced. With his built-in chemistry with Kyler Murray from their days in Oklahoma, Brown will likely see big numbers early, but it's unlikely he will sustain a massive target share once Hopkins returns. Number 4, Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, New York Giants. Why anyone is high on a Giants wide receiver is beyond me. It's not Kadarius Toney's fault, though. Even with the new offense, Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones. Plus, the buzz out of training camp and preseason has been the emergence of Wan'Dale Robinson, not Toney. This doesn't bode well for his upside in fantasy football, and he should be skipped in your fantasy drafts. Number 3, Travis Kelce, tight end, Kansas City Chiefs. I know, it's a hot button take, but hear me out. Kelce is on the list only because of where he is being drafted. Let me make that very clear. I still think he will produce in fantasy at a position that has a huge tier gap from excellent to meh. The problem is that Kelce is being drafted anywhere from the 1st through the 3rd round, where the most expensive players are being taken off the board. There is a very real chance that both Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts finish ahead of Kelce this season. At that pricey of a draft pick, go with Mark Andrews if you're set on drafting a tight end early, or punt the position until later rounds. Number 2, Devin Singletary, running back, Buffalo Bills. I talked about Singletary in my running backs to avoid video, but it's worth bringing up again. This is a committee backfield between Singletary, rookie James Cook, Josh Allen, and even Zach Moss getting some action. He had a career season last year, I get it, but that is likely the ceiling we will see from him. Even then, he finished as an RB20, that's a low-end RB2, with numbers just ahead of their quarterback in Josh Allen. If you're looking for Singletary to take a massive step forward this season, you're likely to be sorely disappointed. If the Bills wanted to give Singletary a massive share of the RB touches, they wouldn't have spent expensive second-round draft capital on James Cook. Number 1, Tyreek Hill, wide receiver, Miami Dolphins. If we don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa, then why are we believing in Tyreek Hill? Not only has he not proven that he has the arm talent to target Hill deep, but there are so many pass-catching options in this offense, it's laughable. If Hill continues to fall in drafts, I understand the value of grabbing him, especially if you already have a solid wide receiving core. Just remember to separate yourself from the name recognition and Hill's days with Patrick Mahomes. And there you have it, my friends. Those are my 10 players that you're going to regret drafting in 2022. And if you want that signed Keenan Allen jersey, courtesy of our friends at Pristine Auction, remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now and comment on this video. Make sure your notifications are turned on so that you are alerted when we have a new video and possibly announcing your name as the winner. And also make sure you're following us at FantasyPros on social media so you don't miss out on any of the content we're putting out. And it's almost football time, everybody. Let's go.
Thanks for tuning in to the FantasyPros YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out our featured videos. And while you're at it, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at FantasyPros so you can get the latest news and updates to give you the edge you need in your fantasy league.